Welcome everyone to a game between T90Official and Argh, and we are basically at live time, so we're just going to let this catch right on up. And as you see, this map very open on each flank, a lot of resources across the top and the bottom of the map. Not wood though, just resources. Well, there's wood lines over here, but there's an awful lot of food for each player, and T90 as the Tatar is going to take full advantage of that with all these sheep. And you could go for small walls. Something you could do, small walls, and try to, or big walls, okay. I'm saying it's small walls like this, but T90 is like, nah, let's go a little bigger. Although there's a scout in here, this scout's gonna be a little problematic, you would think. Maybe not, though. And fast castle, and I think that's what we're gonna see from T90. Going for the fast castle attempt with all this spare food. Had to wall in the gold. That's why he went, oh, there's a gold there. Just one of these berries, nice and protected. On the other side, we see a barracks already coming down for Argh. And Argh out here scouting his opponent, whereas T90 not doing so. Ooh, with the quick gate. T90 trying to get the scout killed off. Nice little play by T90. Damaging that scout pretty heavily. And now that scout unable to do a whole lot of damage. And you see, these players, they didn't lame each other. That's kind of nice. My opinion is slowly shifting on laming. I got lamed a few times and it didn't like it. not the boar. It's like, fine, lame the boar. That's fine. There seems to be a trade-off. But the goats and sheep in the middle of my town, around my town center, just running in and sniping them off and then dodging the arrow fire. It seems like players can do that a little too easily for my taste. And yeah, there's a trade-off there too, but it just doesn't seem as big. Argh already on the way to feudal age. Going to be a man-at-arms rush, so we're seeing very different approaches from these two players. T90 on the way to castle age. Argh, sorry, T90 on the way to feudal age. Argh already on the way up, making militia. So it's going to be man-at-arms into, I don't know, not towers, because nobody's on stone just yet. It's not going to be archers, more likely than not, as Bulgarians don't even get crossbows. Their archers get good upgrades, but, you know, not what you want to do. 3 men-at-arms running forward. Now, this scout is going to die off for Argh. That's not good when you're trying to do a men-at-arms rush. You want that scout there to block the villagers as the villagers try to run away. And, yep, T90. Just going up. Argh just going up. I'm trying to figure out the follow-up for Argh. Here, let's see what he drops. Does he drop anything? Just gets eco upgrades and walls. So I think he's just going to play this defensively from here and try to head on up to Castle Age with a man-at-arms. I mean, you get the free man-at-arms upgrade, so as the Bulgarians, you just go ahead and do it. And I have one of these mods on, making the man-at-arms look a little spicy. You can see their Jaguar Warrior men-at-arms. T90 dropping a market behind. He needs a market. It's going to be dropping a blacksmith over here and trying to head straight to the castle age, and I think he's going to be able to do so. And this is a timing that Argh isn't going to be able to compete with. Argh, nobody on gold just yet. Going to be dropping the blacksmith down. Does have the resources to drop the market down as well, but this is just not what you want. T90, I think, is going to be able to pull this off. Just needs a little more food and has so much food under his TC still. So much food on the berries still. His house. Okay, T90 able to keep that house up. And you can see that corner is in range of the town center. So, Argh in a pretty good position, or in a pretty rough position here. Going heavy on the gold. T90 already on the way to Castle Age. I think we're going to see cavalry archers. Argh agrees. And he's dropping an archer range. That's for skirmishers with the Bulgarians. You're definitely not going for your own crossbows. Could be for your own cav archers, but not when you're behind. So, I like this play. Walling these guys in, giving them their own little prison. Should be dropping the archery ranges soon. When you're this far ahead to Castle Age, I would expect cav archers. T90 very heavy on stone, though. And he did play a bit clowny. He's been playing a bit clowny today, I think. Is he gonna try to castle drop? Just a FC, just no military castle drop? What's the play here, Mr. Official? No barracks dropped yet, nothing. So it's not gonna be cav archers. It's not gonna be knights. It's just gonna be boom. Just a lot of town centers. Like, what is exactly is going on here? Argh on the way up to Castle Age himself, and realizes now he's in a little prison. But you see, if you would have dropped an archery range, made an archer or two, you could have maybe kept these guys in the prison and killed them. Maybe not worth it. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is just going to be an eco play by T90. As another town center being dropped by that stone and gold. Very protected, very safe area. And as soon as he gets the resources, I would expect another one. And you can see, he still has a berry patch. He has all these farms that he's just now starting to take. So T90's feeling pretty confident. And the skirmishers for Argh, he knew it was going to be cav archers, but it wasn't cav archers. It's no follow-up whatsoever. Just a town center. Just one solitary town center. Now, at this point, I would buy some. I'd go ahead and buy some wood. Drop yourself another town center down. Is Argh just looking around, trying to figure out what's going on? Honestly, has these 3 men at arms just poking and prodding. And they're just going to be battering up against walls, houses behind T90, keeping himself very protected here. And he has a stone, a gold, a secondary gold, and a secondary stone somewhat protected in his base. The stone not so much at the moment, kind of outside his base. But he could come wall that back up, open it up, and be protected from melee units, which is, that's what the Bulgarians go. Did go into skirmishers, Argh. And Argh now going to be dropping a couple town centers himself. One there, and I think he should be able to drop another one very soon. Well, when got bow saw, so now unable to do so. These are now long swords. And T90 still not dropping a third town center. So just you know, the third town center is going to be here, and this is a mistake, T90. Oh, it's going to be a castle there. All right. Yeah, that's, like I said, a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a misplay. He could have walled that, yeah, wall there instead of there. He walled one tile too far back. Just dropping a castle now to protect himself, and the town center will follow that up. Eventually, you're going to want to get out to here. Argh brings these skirmishers forward because why not? And it's 2 town centers for each. T90 has a bit of an advantage with that second one, and is up 6 villagers. Is it going to be a Keshik play? I'd like to see that. Like, that would not disappoint me at all. Keshiks, I love to see unique units, and I think we're going to see at least a few Keshiks. It's the only military building T90 has. What else is she going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make military at some point. Okay, no you don't. You don't, apparently, have to make military at any point. Like, 3 Keshiks? Okay. 3 Keshiks would clean all this up with no problem. Third town center coming down first for Argh. So, Argh does have a shot at catching back up. Is pop cap panic dropping houses. And third town center, though, coming down for T90 as well. And a 4th one could come down here or so. Keshik is out. These are a pretty nice unit. I think yeah, that's going to go for the long swords, though, if he doesn't get out of there. He does. T90 gets out of there 1 hit away from dying. Good timing there. And the second Keshik is going to be able to beat that off, I'd say. Going to go clean up those skirmishers. Nope. Gonna take out these long swords and smartly attacks you always. If you have a low number of units, find the low HP one, take it out first. There's the 4th town center coming down now for T90. So this is what we expected. Just took a little bit. He made sure he had the food eco first. Playing it smooth, not trying to play anything too shenanigan-y. And both players just booming up in their tiny little bases. Like, both players have walled themselves in these little areas, have town centers everywhere. Argh is like, alright, well, we can play full arena, and is going to be going out for relics. Each player has 2 relics on their side of the map. It looks like T90 going to be heading out, looking for some stuff, and you can see everything he can see there. He's running out, dropping some houses, probably going to be getting some vision upgrades on those as well. I like this play by Argh, just getting, you know, every bit of eco you can rolling. And this is something I think players didn't take advantage of on the map called Marketplace, alright? Remember when Marketplace was in, well, actually, I don't know if it was in a random map queue, but when you're trying to get every bit of eco you can rolling, I think starting trade earlier when you're not fighting, when there's no fighting, okay, be clear, no fighting, so a map like Mitchie, I think you can actually start trade in the Castle Age. Now the wood is dicey, that's the issue, the wood's always very dicey. I think we're going to see Conics out of Argh, dropping a Crepost on the front of his base to keep himself nice and protected. The Keshiks wandering around. T90 now has a nice army of Keshiks. And so Argh is going to have to respond with something, and it's going to be Conics. What a dream scenario, Keshik versus Conic. Argh losing Skirmisher to the Lions. Yep, a few Conics being added. We'll check out the stats on those guys, but they do have more stats after they die, so it's not quite that simple. T90 also gathering up those relics. So, now where did that monk go? That's my question. Okay, there's the monk headed out to this relic. Argh notices, drops the house. Adds another monk, and T90 is not going to be able to do anything. These Conics, only 100 HP versus the 110. The Keshik, but a Conic has 12 attack and 2 armor, whereas the Keshik only has 9 attack and 1 armor. Another big difference between these guys is when the Conic dies, he drops down, pops up as like a 75 hit point infantryman, whereas the Keshik doesn't do so. The other difference though, Keshiks generate a little bit of gold trickle. T90 going to run in and try to snipe off this monk. I think he might be able to do so. He indeed is able to. Argh could have gone for a conversion there, didn't do so. Now, the Conic just a little bit slower than the Keshik. Ooh, T90 looking to snipe off these relics from trying to get 3 of the 4 relics on the map. That's smart play by T90. He's got 1 in, not 1, none. He doesn't even have 1 in yet. What? Where did the one over here go? I don't understand. I guess might have gone forward for that one. I don't know. 1 coming in now for Argh. Gonna be 1 coming in soon for T90, and another one coming in, and he does have 1. I don't know where the monk was, but he was bringing that relic in. And Keshiks and the Conics kind of dancing around, playing it like it's Fortress or Arena, more like Fortress. And both players on the way to Imperial Age. T90 now going to be transitioning. Well, he might just be getting castle upgrades, but I think, yeah, there come the Cav Archer switch. So Cav Archers versus Conics. Cav Archers do very well in this scenario. So Argh is going to be a little bit in trouble, and he's going to be losing a Conic there, surely. No, and T90's got to lose a Keshik, right? Nope, the game decides to be fair. Both players just lose their monk. T90 drops the castle on the right-hand side of his base. securing 2 gold mines and semi-securing 2 stone mines. T90 is going to lose a Keshik here. There's no doubt. And then just runs away, as the fight would definitely go in Argh's favor. Gonna be dropping some stuff out here. He's probably gonna want a castle here, maybe. T90 has sort of expanded, has not quite expanded out to the central wood line yet, whereas Argh is dropping 2 more town centers on the central wood line, another town center on the left. He's gonna need a castle, though. You need a castle, and he doesn't have one. Both players in Imperial Age, and as the Bulgarians, you need a castle. Oh, okay, skirmisher. It's going to be skirmishers. So he sees the cav archers. He's going to add a lot more skirmishers. Now, to Tark cav archers, they get pretty spicy when they're fully upgraded and when they're on a hill. When they're on the hill, they're the best cav archer in the game. They have extra pierce armor, I believe it is. Extra armor and pierce armor when they're fully upgraded. Plus, when they're up on a hill, they deal the most damage, I think. Or at least they beat everybody. Yeah, elite skirmisher coming out. T90, I like this. On these clown maps, on these maps you don't know, just out here getting the vision in on everything. T90 has a ton of vision on the map. And you can see the little dismounted conic boy. 45 HP, but a lot of attack, and if it's elite, pretty tanky unit, honestly. 2 crab posts, but you need the castle. Why? For stirrups. You get the stirrups tech, that makes all the difference. Going to be a lot of skirmishers. And T90 going to stone wall the right side. He wants to fight on the left. Wants nothing to do with the right side. Castle was added here. Stone walls being added. He doesn't want to get raided. Now, the stone walls have a hole in them. Massive gaping hole. T90, maybe notice that. And I still say you should add a castle right here. And this is not a position you want to be in, as it doesn't look like ballistics is in just yet. Chemistry's in, which means ballistics. Ballistics is also in. Okay, interesting. Ballistics coming in now for Argh. And T90, he's going to add light cav to this mix. Yep. Okay. Hadn't yet seen that, and immediately he is indeed adding light cav to the mix. And T90 laming the gold. Nice play there. And look at that, castle added pretty much where I said. Light cav being added. T90 is going to want to drop a bunch more farms somewhere. Indeed. Dropping a few farms, not near anything really. You know, just far away from everything. Ooh, but this army is waltzing into T90's base, but this castle will come up in time. Yep. And that's going to keep this army back. Gonna have to run away. You can see murder hole's not yet researched. That's why this little inner circle's here. Army gets away. Only a few units dropped, and a castle added here. Now this castle's pretty bad. At least make it on the edge of the hill. Why I say it's bad is all this range being shot into the blackness. You might as well put it out here and let it overlap a little bit more. And that's a lot of cav archers there for T90, but Krepos are cheap and effective. Now, you do want a castle for stirrups. Stirrups is a massive tech for the Bulgarians, and you're going to want a castle for that. But it's going to be light cav and cav archer, which is one of the best comps you can have in this game, period, versus conic skirmisher, which is a very cool comp. You can see, going to be doing a lot of damage. And there comes the castle, also for elite conic. So this castle is massively important. Ecos, both players, actually, Argh has a pretty massive pop lead. And T90 has the score lead, but Argh, definitely with the pop lead, definitely has enough. He's got enough skirmishers to one-shot these light cav, it looks like. in here enough. He dives under a TC, but there's 2 town centers shooting. I think he'll take this TC out. There's no units coming over in time. It's T90 building some stables here for the raids on the right flank, but getting the walls down. Don't think the walls will finish quite in time, T90. If these units decide to come running through. Yep, T90 dropping a bunch of villagers. He's going to have to deal with this. He's trying to raid his way out of this, but T90 is in a little trouble, and these dismounted conics turn into better raiders than you think, just because they always keep popping up. They're not good at raiding, but better than you'd think. And looking at taking out another town center is Argh. Taking the score lead also is Argh. And these conics, these are just not even elite conics. The heavy cav archers, there's 41 of them roaming through Argh's base. So the eco KD is 17 to 19. Little bit of a base trade going on as T90 drops another town center. Argh, though, losing much of his farming eco with light cav and cav archers dancing around in his base. T90, though, about to lose... no, he's not losing that TC. Not at the moment, anyway. As there's a lot of cav archers here. Not yet heavy cav archers, but also not yet elite conics. And this army in the front for Argh is looking a little rough. Another castle being added here. Now, this one I don't like. You got one castle. Get your techs out of this castle and continue adding crepos everywhere, because your opponent's going for raids. Don't build castles. If your opponent is going for raids with especially cav archers and you have the ability to build crepos, go for the crepos over the castles, because you can cover a better area. These crepos, you can see, they do really well at coverage and damage. They're not so tanky, they die really fast. You just need that castle for the techs, and then you can put the crepos everywhere, locking down your base. Like a crepos could go back here and clean this up. Now, neither player going into elite conic yet. Ooh, and there's a little hole in this wall. How unfortunate. But the castle's up, and T90 is now going to be pushing Argh back. So this composition is going to get out of hand pretty soon here for T90, who's got to get his farming eco going again. You want about 50 or 60 farms probably, because you want to be able to spam hussars constantly. These stables, castle dropped on these stables, crepos now being added for these stables. I like that play. I think a crepos could be added over here, or actually over here and here. Keep things protected. And Argh cleaning up everything in his base, but a lot more on the way. Yeah, a crepos could be used. Well, this is walled off. And still just cav archers and still just conics. The conics don't like to fight the cav archers, still just light cav too. T90 walling up the other side now. And this is going to be a little dicey for T90. His army's all the way over on the right-hand side. Well, the left-hand side of the map, but there's a Treb. And Argh's army on the right-hand side. I don't think this castle goes down. I think T90 can pull some villagers and save it. But... and this crepos is going to go up. Although Argh bleeding a few villagers to get it up. A lot of idle villagers for Argh. The worker efficiency for both players pretty atrocious, as Argh runs in with a whole bunch of light cav now. And if he's got stirrups, I don't know that he does, but if he's got stirrups, these are some of the best light cav in the game. T90's got one singular knight to try to deal with these trebs. Not happening at the moment, and this castle is going down. T90 didn't take care of it at all. The skirmisher's catching out a bunch of his army, and he's got to run away on the left-hand side as well. And while T90 has a superior comp, he's struggling to make it work at the moment. Heavy cav archer finally in. And conic, elite conic, not yet in. I don't know about stirrups. You need stirrups. You're going this heavy into light cav. You need stirrups. Little bit of bad pathing, but it works out. Argh able to save the two trebs and take down the castle. Great thing for him. Now these skirmishers waltzing into their deaths. I don't know what that's about, Argh. just decided to donate some skirmishers and still light cav in the back of Argh's base, coming from these stables in the back. And Argh, this Krepos is a nice outpost here. Does he see these gold mines? That's the question. He does now see the gold mine there. That's important, in the stone mines there. Should drop a Krepos here, drop maybe a Krepos there. Lots of Krepos should be in play for Argh with these 2 additional stone mines. And Krepos are a good counter to cav archers, because how do you raid if you can't, like, you got to just ball it up and take a big fight. Husks are finally coming in, and these are still, and Husks are in for both players now, very soon at least. So it's going to be Hussar Elite Skirm versus Cav Archer Elite Skirm in the Conics. So basically Argh doesn't know how to spend his gold, and he's going to have Bulgarian Hussar, which are maybe the best in the game at melee combat. Very good Hussar. And that's not what you want to do. You don't want to sit under 2 Kreposts. Looks like Siege. Bulgarian player is going to go into Siege to fill out his gold, since he doesn't know what to do with gold. Yeah, lots of idle eco for Argh that's unnecessary at this point. And the Hussar Skirm is a much cheaper composition than the heavy Cav Archer. Light Cav, and yep, over here, dropping some. And this one, Solitary Hussar, running in, gonna find some more villager kills. You can see the Eco KD 51 to 37. Both players pop capped. Very even game, and T90 adding another castle. He's got 7 castles, T90 does. Now, Argh has 6 town centers and Krepos everywhere, so Argh is equally well protected. T90 adding his own skirms in. Had to be a misclick. They're not even elite skirm. Halb being added in, so Halb Onager could be Halb SO in play. Now Argh could go ahead very soon and add a Krepos here, as T90 is going to try to sneak some villagers in and drop a stable on the left hand side. That matters. And these Hussar raids now continuing on here. This is a bit of a problem. Argh needs to deal with this. He is. And this is going to be spotted immediately by Argh, but the question is, how will the reaction time be? Is T90 getting walls up on both sides of the map, but losing some Cav Archers here. Ooh, this is nice. Pinching him off with Halbs. Unable to do so. And Onager Tech. Is he going to get a shot in? No. Onager Tech literally 2 seconds too late. And this stable is going to come up for... Oh no, this isn't good. Argh, you need to push this back. You need to drop a Krepos here. Drop a Krepos here sneakily. Okay, don't drop it sneakily anymore. You've got it. Go ahead and drop it. Notice and drop that. And you got to do something about that. I think you will. But the Onager Halb play is going to be a nice one. This could get a little dicey though if Argh doesn't notice this. At some point he's going to have to notice and drop a Krepos here. And T90 seems to be taking a bit of control in this game. Pretty long game to this point, and the Halbs do close in on the Cav Archers here. T90, you got to pay attention to your Cav Archers. You can't let them get closed by Halbs, as they just melt. And okay, decides to drop a castle instead of a Krepos and loses all the villagers. So he's gonna have to head over there with some more villagers. He'll do so. Capped Ram coming out, and T90 gonna wall this in, or just going for stone of his own. Argh's gonna have to come over here. He does. He's got Onager. He's got architecture on the way. These Onagers, though, are very exposed. Argh's struggling with population at the moment and doesn't get the value from those Onagers at all. And this castle might just get fully denied. This population needs to get over to this side. The population Argh has cleaning up the raids on the right side needs to get over to the left side, or else this castle's going down. Though architecture coming in was clutch there. holding on, giving him a lot more time. An awful lot of time here. And Onager Halb continuing to come out. And this stable producing Hussar still are blasting his army across to the other side in a desperate attempt to save this castle. Gets a nice Onager shot in there on the Hussars. We just caught the end of that. And raids are everywhere, but raids don't work when there's Kreposts literally everywhere. Although the raids, I must say, seem to be working pretty well. If you look at the KD, Argh gotta get in here in a hurry, coming in a hurry, swoops around, and yes, he's getting the Onager shots in. I think he saves it. 700, 500 HP, saves it. Now he's got to notice this castle. Does he notice, Argh? Oh yeah, he notices. And gonna take care of that as well. So this castle by T90, an ill-advised attempt, gets denied as Argh, starting to get some value out of those Onagers. Needs to run some villagers over here now. Also, notice this, Argh. So much going on. T90 is making this stressful and messy and just very difficult. And there, he notices. Argh notices this. This stable, one singular stable, still causing problems for Argh. And what a problem it is. Once he gets these raids cleaned up. Oh, what a ram train. My goodness. An absolute ram train. Choo-choo. Headed in for this castle. And also going to be taking out the Onagers. Squish, squish. Get yourself some villagers over here, Argh. Like, get this castle up first. Only got 500 hit points. And it's at like 80%. T90 or Argh, I think gonna be able to hold this. That's going down in a hurry. This castle might not make it. No, it makes it. Surely that stays up. Okay, castle stays up on the right. The Onagers come out. The Cav Archers taking heavy damage, heavy losses. The Onager play finding value every now and then. And get this castle up. The villagers are coming for T90. Argh is there to stop it. And this castle's only at 40%. But you've got villagers here. Argh, you got to get this castle up. And this one gets denied once again by Argh. But Argh is everywhere with raids. T90, he's got to be running out of gold, though. There's not a lot of gold left on the map. And as it runs into a trash war, Argh is a little better prepped for that, as that's what he's been doing already. This, though, continues to be a mistake for Argh. It's bothering me quite a bit. And T90 pushing, or sorry, Argh pushing back the ram train of T90. These heavy Cav Archers, a great play, but not if they never get through. Don't know why he doesn't finish that castle. Hussar raids now for Argh. Tired of the Eco KD being so heavily in his opponent's favor. This castle, sorry, this stable about to go down. This castle needs to be repaired. Argh realizes that. He knows that that castle's in a desperate way. And gonna be able to get that repaired eventually here. Finding good shots. It's like he forgot that he saved that castle. Worked so hard to save it, and now he's not finishing it. The fight is over here. Onager Halb, Hussar Skirm from Argh. Heavy Cav Archer, Hussar Siege Ram for Argh. For T90, sorry. And Halb, Lonely Halb underneath that castle, battering it down. Eventually it'll go down if nothing changes. And Argh now the one that's pop capped. T90 struggling a little bit to stay at population. And these heavy Cav Archers continuing to die off to the Onagers. And this is just disgusting. Like, T90 making all these small details, doing these small things right. And Argh making good decisions for the most part, but just a few slip-ups here and there. I think he's going to be alright. as he's able to start raiding now. This is swinging in Argh's favor, but this tower, this Hussar, gonna be a problem. And maybe that'll bring Argh's attention back to this side of the map. Hopefully it does. And that Hussar able to just, you know, run up and finish that castle with these villagers. Like, why not? You got a couple of Halbs here. So, go finish the castle, please. No, there's a tower there now. Not noticing anymore that there's a tower there. And some, okay, siege rams added in. I was going to say some other siege is going to be needed here for Argh. And it's being added in. So, Onager, Siege Ram, Halb, Skirm. Keeping those Cav Archers at bay. But there's a bigger army here for T90 at the moment. And, oh no. Dude. This is sickening. This castle, well, it's T90, loses more villagers on it. Maybe that will alert Argh to the fact that he has a 60% built castle here. These little details continue to go in T90's favor, and yeah, he's going to get this castle up, denying this castle permanently for Argh. What a bad play by Argh over here. Pushing in so heavily on the right, just ignores the fact, and deletes that one to build this one. But that one was at 60%. That one was better anyway. I mean, I know you need to get rid of this tower, but just bring an Onager, my dude. This is going to go up. I'm pretty certain. And this push over here is a problem for Cav Archers to deal with. The Halb spam has to be pretty steady, though, or else it's not going to work out. Is it steady enough? I think it might be. There's got to be a lot of Hussars being pumped out from T90 who is struggling with food. Definitely struggling. Now, this Siege Ram, okay, unable to... T90 pulling all the boys to try to repair this. Is he going to be successful? He's dropping Keshiks out of the castle, doing whatever he can to get this repaired. Definitely going to be losing some ground here. And the reinforcements continue to come in for... Ooh, Argh, but... Okay. The Siege Rams pushing out. Castle goes down. Castle goes down. And the Siege Workshop's going to be going down as well. Argh pushing forward. He's got the Halbs. He's got the Hussars. Now, over here on the left, let's look at what's going on the left. This castle's up, but there's Siege Rams coming out for Argh, or for T90. But Argh has the villagers there, able to batter that away. A few Hussar raids coming in for T90, but nothing much. And this continues to be annoying. And Argh going to be losing a lot of Onagers here, but gets some good shots in out of them before they go down. So, not complete loss, and those were a big part of the push. Let's see, are more Onagers going to be prepped? More Onagers on the way, but gold is running out. And T90, remember, did get the 3 of the 4 relics. T90 with 3 relics, Argh only with 1. However, this gold, Argh actually has plenty of gold remaining. And T90 pushing for, Argh pushing for another castle. T90 continuing to hold, or continuing to fight here. He's got these heavy Cav Archers, has a tremendous KD ratio. And this castle is going to be saved, as there's no military backup to this. And Argh trying to get his military, he's at 200 pop. He wants to clean this up once and for all over here. He needs to add a Treb. Really, and this is getting dicey. He needs to stop this. Notice this, Argh. He may not notice that he's about to lose a castle. That would be a pretty big blow. I don't think he notices. I think he loses this castle. There's so much going on, he can't notice everything. Cleaning all this up, all this military here. Gonna lose this castle to 1 lone Siege Ram. Oh, that's sickening. And T90 going to be working on all these buildings, cleaning all this up. Sorry, Argh. Going to be cleaning all that up. He's going to look back there and be so sick of himself, sick at himself. He's very upset about that. Very upsetting for that to happen. Hasn't noticed yet that there's a siege ram in there. And come on, don't. Just make a treb or a siege ram. Okay, there's a siege ram coming. And Argh, with such a big focus on the left, is he going to lose a town center to this as well? He finally notices he's got to be upset about that one. That castle was an important castle, as now this whole left side of Argh's base is wide open for the raids. Here they come. T90 switching his attention to the left side, and I don't think Argh is going to be able to handle that. There's no siege workshop. Well, there's a few. There are siege workshops over here, but... oh, no. No, 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 no. Argh bleeding villagers now. Hasn't noticed. What's he paying attention to as his entire wood line goes down? When he notices that, that's enough to make you GG. Such a bad thing to notice after losing another 50 villagers. Does he notice it? And continuing to take this castle out with hussars. Doesn't even have a siege ram. There, the siege ram's all headed over to the other side. And lost his entire wood eco. Hasn't yet noticed. Still not noticing these raids. What is... I guess there's a lot to look at. There's a lot to pay attention to, a lot to focus on. And it's just too messy for Argh. It's just too messy. All these hussars standing idle, finally noticing the fact that he's just lost 50 villagers. Not noticing. Not noticing the fact that he's lost 50 villagers. He's down to 160 pop, struggling to keep production up. His resources are slim. Now he notices. Now he decides to drop a castle here. But he's got this. Okay, he does have this army doing some work now. Pushing in the left-hand side is Argh, actually. Not T90. And Argh dropping a castle in the middle. But this area still needs to be protected between these castles. Well, he's transitioning his eco nicely. He can drop this and get more stone. So Argh is the one with more resources remaining. T90 at this moment with a pretty nice advantage in population, though, as Argh tries to recover from all this. Going to be a lot of dead. I want the Cav archers back up. On the left-hand side, Argh pushing in with a pretty measly force of hussars and halbs running in under the castle, closing on the Cav archers. Going to be knocking down a siege workshop or two. It's going to be all. And Argh with just a rough position in general, and Argh calls the GG. Well played. It's a little bit of an odd time to call it, in my opinion, because there's no particular reason that you're calling GG. And he left T90's outpost up here. That's funny. He just ran out of military, ran out of population, decides to call it. As T90's at 200, Argh down at 130. Let's look at the stats, military stats. What a slog. 1,100 kills versus 724. Argh killed so many buildings, but it wasn't enough. T90 kept the game too messy for Argh. Argh with the better eco. Technology, you can see Argh faster imp time off of that. And T90 with the better villager total number. Sorry, villagers max. But you can see Argh had to build 325 villagers, whereas T90 only built 280. APM stats. This was a wild game for such a slow starter. You can see 53 to 57 on the APM. Both pretty even there. What a slog. I hope you enjoyed this game. What a fun one. We'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed, drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. If you didn't enjoy, move along, drop a dislike, whatever you feel is necessary for this video. But I hope you did enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you did. All right, we'll see you in the next one.